Last video I talked about buffers. This video we're talking about healers. So healers, if you guys don't already know, simply you go into a combat battle, and if this ship procs a certain requirement or buff or skill, you get heals. Heals lets you survive in combat for numerous fights. Very important for long sorties, which is like, I don't know, 5+ combats or so. It's very important to have heals, because if your ship sinks, you lose the fight, or you lose the battle. So there's that. Anyways, today's video we're talking about healers. Now there's multiple healers in this game, so I'm gonna break it down into categories and what they serve as, right? So the first one is the obvious one. We're talking about backline healers like carriers, battleships, those kind of ships that can heal, right? So we're gonna talk about those first, starting with battleships. Now there's a couple battleships in this game that can heal. I know a few on top of my head. There's probably more of that, but there are a few. The first one is Arizona, a very old ship, a very unreliable healer, but definitely is a healer. This is one I used in my Iron Man series a while back. Eagle's Tier. When this ship fires a salvo, 50% chance to heal your entire vanguard for 10% of their max health. Now back then, 10% heal was quite a lot, because some of the other healers heal like 8%. So this is very good. The issue is that it's inconsistent. It's 50% chance. So 50% very low, but if you're struggling for something that can heal early game, that wants to do battleship, if you only do battleship damage or so, Arizona is a fine choice if you want to do that. Early game though, off end game she falls off, but early game definitely not bad at all. Not bad at all. Now, this is very this is very familiar to everyone right here. Two of the cheapest healers in the game, Unicorn, and if I can find her, Shouhou, right here, right next to her. So these two right here, they have a skill called Support Carrier. When airstrike launches, when the ship launches an airstrike, heals your entire vanguard by 8% of their max health. Same with Shouhou, 8% heal if they were to use this. So this right here, back then, still very good. So right now, still pretty good. 8% of max health, and so forth. So most carriers, they airstrike around the 21-ish, 22 second mark for sorties or whatever. So you could probably get 2 of these off in a battle, which is 60% health of your vanguards. So it's very solid. The issue is that, well, Unicorn doesn't do that much damage, and Shouhou does a little bit more damage, but not that much damage. But they're very good for early game, because most people don't have a lot of ships. So if you need a healer, you're struggling with something, Unicorn and Shouhou are definitely 2 really good choices to have in your fleet to help you get around stuff and whatnot. Now, let's pick things up a notch, or let's take things up a notch. We now have the little bit better healers in the game. So starting with Ryuuhou. Ryuuhou right here has a skill called Swirling Cherry Blossoms, and this is basically, even though it's a long line right here, the first 3 airstrikes. Don't worry about the first 3 airstrikes, because most of the time sorties aren't that long to the point where you're going to use more than 3 airstrikes. So this is more than enough right here. Heal 3 times over 3 seconds for this ship in particular. Now additionally, each heal will target the lowest ship you have in your fleet. So if you're using a 1-1 setup like Ryuuhou and someone else, she's going to heal that ship in the Vanguard setup most of the time. Now, if you're using a fleet of 3 ships or more, the healing increase by 100%, meaning it doubles. So this right here heals for 3% of maximum HP. So my maximum HP right here, will ignore the gear, let's say is about 5,000. So we're healing for about, if my math doesn't suck, we're healing for about 150, right? 150 health. That's not a lot, but once you have the gear and stuff ready here, and if you're using 3 ships or more, this becomes roughly about 300, which is really good. So, well, not amazingly good, but like it's pretty good. Also heals herself as well too. So Ryuuhou definitely is a good ship. Heals for heals a lot. But her damage is very, very lacking. Lacks quite a lot of damage. She's not very, very durable because she's a light carrier. And her damage output isn't the best. So you wouldn't want to use her in a 1-1 step. You would want to use her in a full setup of three ships or more. I personally like using her in like World 12 and whatnot. A little bit of the mid to end game content is where Ryuuhou really excels at. So if you have her, definitely is a good choice there. Definitely is a good choice there. The other ship we'll be talking about is Aquila. To me, Aquila does Perseus' job way better. Now, ignore the fact that she can airstrike very, very early when the story starts. So ignore that. But she has a skill aside from the preload, where when this ship launches an airstrike while having a fighter slot equipped on her second gear slot, so this one right here, if this is a fighter, you can definitely get some heals in. Restores 8% health for the lowest HP percentage ship in your vanguard and main fleet. This right here is very, very good. 8% of one ship in the back, 8% to a ship in the front. This is very, very good. So, if you guys haven't noticed already, the newer ships, Ryuuhou and Aquila, they don't heal just the vanguards, they heal the backline as well too. The most important thing right here is that they heal backline as well too. For the longest time, aside from like very, very specific ships, a few of them, like 2 of them, they made healers in this game only for your vanguards. But now we're entering a stage where healers are for the vanguards and the backline, which is very, very good. Very, very good right here. So Aquila, Ryuuhou are definitely 2 of the better healer ships in the game. So if you need healers, these 2 are very, very good. Now, the premier healer, my favorite all-time healer in this game, Perseus. Perseus is ridiculous, and I'm not even kidding you guys. I say she's really, really good. Look right here. I have 3 million EXP capped at 120 on her. Very, very good. She basically never leaves my fleet at all if I'm doing PvE stuff. Mercury's Talaria. When this ship, oops, my bad. This ship starts off the battle with 2 airstrike preloads. If you guys don't know what preload is, you start off with airstrikes immediately when the combat battle starts. But the loading time of the airstrike is increased by 90%. So, even though the afterwards you get very, very slow airstrikes, you get 2 right off the bat, which is very, very good as a healer. Super, super good. Additionally, blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. Heals all ships in your vanguard for 7% and your main fleet by 3% of their respective maximum health. This right here is very, very good because, like I said earlier, you start off the battle with 2 preloaded airstrikes. And if you airstrike right away on auto battle and whatnot, 14% health to your vanguard, 7% health to your main fleet, your backline. This is very, very good because it may not sound like it's super, super important, but when you get more ships geared up, you have more endgame equipment and whatnot, you end battles in less than 20 seconds most of the time. So all those other ships that require airstrike that are like at 20 or so seconds, at best they heal 1 time. And 1 time you won't get that much value. But Mercury's Talaria makes it so you get 14% health to your vanguard and 7% health to your main fleet every battle. And if you end the battle very, very fast, that's super, super good. Not only that, preload airstrikes, she does damage too. Perseus does a lot of damage. If you haven't noticed, she should be taking most of your MVPs right now if you're using her at all. So she's very, very, very good. A lot of damage, a lot of heals. She's basically always going to be in your PvE setups. She's utterly insane. The best healer in this game, I'll say by far. Nothing comes close to Perseus. Easily my favorite and probably the best healer in this game, by far. Now, we're done with that. Let's talk about the repair ships in this game. Repair ships are ships that usually don't do damage, but they also heal. They heal quite a lot as well too. Logistic repairs heals all your ships for 3% of Akashi's max health. So Akashi usually gets about, let's say, 5,000 health. You heal 3% of that. This is about 150, right? The issue is that every 35 seconds. So if you're doing 35 second stuff, where you will want to use Akashi is if you're doing endgame content where you're not clearing fast enough, so like say World 13 and whatnot, and you need the heals. So Akashi would be pretty good there. Also pretty good in like World 12 grind as well too, where you're using like leveling up random ships that don't do that much damage, that takes a long time. You want to do it there. Akashi fails when it comes to content where you clear very fast because she can't heal. So if you're clearing fast, you might as well go full damage. You don't need Akashi. But if you're doing content where you need to do long extended fights and sorties and whatnot, Akashi is very good there. Vestal, similar here. Not regular maintenance, my bad. Once per battle, when one of your ships fall below 20% health, heals them for 20% of their max HP. If the recipient is Enterprise, the healing potency is doubled, or not doubled, 50% increase. So 150% boost. So this is basically a zombie skill. Well, I'll talk more about what zombies are in general later on. But damage control right here. If a ship falls below a certain health, they get healed for 20%. So you're going to have battles where you're very low on health. And if you don't get one-shotted, which very rarely happens, except you're finding like end-game content, you're under level, she should catch them with this skill right here. So this is very good. It is very good. If we ever get to the stage where we have ships that do more damage at lower health, I think there's like one ship that does that. I could be wrong. This right here is very good with them. It's probably very good with them. I personally love using Vestal when I'm doing like World 12 and stuff, because unlike Akashi, she's not time restrained. So Akashi requires 35 seconds. Vestal just needs a ship to be below a certain health. So this right here is super good. Vestal is definitely, if I were to pick one, Akashi or Vestal, Vestal is definitely my favorite one if I were to pick one of the two repair ships, because it's not time restraint, it heals a lot. Very good ship. Very good ship. So that's basically backline. There's also battleships and whatnot too, like the collab ships like Honoka. I have her somewhere right here. The new whatchamacallit, Idolmaster ships as well too. They also heal. So I'll talk about more about those. Honoka is very good as well too. But I'll mention her later on. But this right here, it takes place after 30 seconds, kind of like Akashi. It works. It does work. But it takes a long time. And nowadays, I'm not a big fan of long duration fight. But if you need a healer, you want some sizable damage, because Iori definitely does damage compared to like old ships back in the day. It's very good. Assuming fights last more than 30 seconds, is very good here. Honoka is basically one of the best 1-1 setup healers. I don't have her level up right now, so I can ignore this. But when this ship fires its main guns, heal 2 random ships in your fleet. So if you guys don't already know, 2 random ships, it doesn't have to be random if you're doing 1-1 setup. So he'll set 5% of their max HP. I think this gets more, but no, I think it's 5%. Whatever. 1-1 setup, basically, if you fire it with a fast gun, you're basically always getting 5% max health. So if you're doing like Honoka and like say Drake or something, you're gonna heal both of those ships back to back every single time. It is very good. Very good. I don't know why I said more than 5%. That's already level 10 already. My bad. So those are some of the backline ships. There's probably more. I think I said most of them though, the important ones at least. So there's that. There's also Vanguards as well too. I won't talk too much about Vanguards because there's a lot to talk about. So I'll break it down very fast. Zombie ships. Zombie ships, if you guys don't already know, basically it's kind of like we call these the zombie ships. Once per battle, when the ship goes below a certain health, it heals them for that much of their health. So like in this case, Caston, if he goes below 20%, heals for 25% of the max HP. Kind of like how Vestal works here. There's a lot of these ships nowadays, like Mahins, Phoenix, Boys, Suzuki, Penelope, stuff like that. Those ships work very, very well in 1-1 setups. If you want to do like event grind or whatnot, you need like a zombie ship. Those ships are very, very good. Use those for event grinding and whatnot. Zombie ships are very good for cheap farming. Very, very good there. There's also these very niche vanguards as well too that can heal. I'll start off with Gromky. Gromky is a very selfless healer, but definitely is a good one if you want to level her up. She has a skill called Selfless Aid, and basically, when this is maxed out, you sacrifice 10%, or I think it's like 5 to 10. Yeah, it's like 5 to 10. You sacrifice 5% of this ship's max HP to heal the lowest ship or whatever, or if a ship drops below 20% health, for 10% of their health. So it's a different kind of heal, but definitely is a healer. Now the issue with using Gromky is that you're losing a damage slot or a buffer slot. But if you're fine with that though, Gromky is definitely a good choice to have in your fleet. You will obviously want to run her in a full setup rather than like a 1-1 setup or whatnot. So a fleet of 6 ships is definitely good there. There's also San Francisco. San Francisco, yellow skill right here. If you're in the middle, heals all ships in your vanguard for 10% of their max HP for 20 seconds after the battle starts. This is very, very good right here. If it's a little bit shorter compared to the 30-second procs, and it's very, very good because San Francisco does damage, does a pretty sizable amount of damage. Definitely is a good choice here for vanguard healers and whatnot. So those are just some of the vanguard healers. There's also Yukikaze as well too. I forgot about her. My bad. Yukikaze has a skill called where's it? I think it's right here. Yukikaze of Care. If some ship in your main fleet is taking damage once per battle, they fall below 20% health, they heal for 10%. So there's also that as well. Another zombie skill, but for your backline. Everyone else though, they're either selfless healer or whatnot, so I don't talk about those. We're talking about mainly about party healers here. So those are just a few ships that can do party heals. There's zombies and whatnot, but I won't talk too much about them. Anyways, hopefully that answered your questions for everyone. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys learned something about healers today. Stay tuned for the next video and whatever I'll talk about next for whatchamacallit.